What's up, y'all? Welcome back, Idiot Fitness Live every Sunday at 12 Eastern Time. Today we're talking about cardio.
Yes.
Don't let cardio kill your gains. What the heck does that even mean, Camille?
Yes. So there's definitely a time and a place to do cardio. And so if your goal is to gain muscle, to gain strength, then it's really important that you understand how cardio can impact that. So first things first, again, as with anything that you're doing related to fitness, it all starts with what is the goal, right?
What's your goal?
Yeah. Is it to lose fat? Is it weight loss, feel better, gain strength, gain muscle? You really have to figure out what is it that you're trying to achieve and then build everything else around that.
Example, and this is a real life example. I want to do a bodybuilding show. I want to run a marathon. Two counterproductive goals. Nothing wrong with either of them. Pick one. You're not going to do both. You're not going to do well at both.
Yeah, definitely. You might be able to do okay at both, but hey, if you want to go out and crush that marathon and get first place, then definitely the weightlifting's counterproductive in some degree.
Look at marathon runners' physiques. Mm-hmm. Is that what you want your physique to look like? Then go run marathons. If you want muscles, start training in the gym and forget running marathons.
Absolutely. So jumping right into it, and some of the common mistakes that people make when putting cardio into their weight training program is doing cardio at the wrong times.
Most common mistake.
Yeah. I mean, I just think about it. You only have so many hours in a day. So already you've carved out hour, 2 hours that you're going to go and you're going to work out. So in your mind, you're thinking, okay, I'm at the gym. Well, sure, I'm going to start with my cardio and then go into my weights because I'm fasted. So that makes sense. I'm going to do the cardio first.
On paper, that does make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you're already at the gym. Why not knock it all out in one go? So what's wrong with that, James?
So anytime you do your cardio first, you're taking away from your energy levels, your strength, your everything that you can put towards your weights. Real life example, I worked at Cecil College, and they would need basketball players all the time to play against the college team, scrimmage, just for fun. So I would do that, and then I would go try to lift after playing basketball, and I had nothing left. My strength was gone. I couldn't get the weights I could normally lift, et cetera, et cetera. So I learned very quickly, I'm lifting before I play basketball. I don't care if my shot's messed up.
Yeah, I was going to say, how's your game after that?
My goal is to make muscles, not to be an NBA player. So, I played basketball, but lifting was the priority, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, the same works in the inverse. So let's say you are that marathon runner and you're trying to pick up speed and, work on reducing your times. You're not going to go in and hit an hour leg day and then say, okay, I'm going out and training for that marathon. Like, how do you think your time's going to look? Like, your muscles are fatigued. You have no energy left.
Yeah. And then we just heard this morning, 20 minutes, as little as 20 minutes of cardio will take away from your weightlifting strength.
Absolutely.
So if you're warming up, don't do 20 minutes. Do less than 20 minutes to warm up.
I mean, just think about it. So, you've ate dinner. Let's say you work out in the morning. Like, you ate dinner, you went to sleep. Your body only has so many available nutrients to apply to an activity. Like, once you burn through those glycogen stores, there's nothing left. So if you dumped all of that into your cardio and then you're like, okay, now it's time for me to get serious and lift these weights, what resource do you have left to lift weights? There's nothing. You're running on fumes. So you're definitely not going to gain muscle running on fumes like that.
Absolutely. And again, it goes back to your goals. If you want muscles, push the cardio to the side, lift your weights. If you want to run a marathon, do your cardio.
Yeah. So I would say anytime you're looking for strength gains, muscle gains, or, even if your goal is just to get leaner and lose weight, I would still prioritize the resistance training over the cardio training.
100%.
Yeah.
The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn. Your BMI goes up, your metabolic rate goes up. None of that happens from cardio. You're just burning calories while you're doing the cardio.
Absolutely. So I think the next intuitive question someone would ask is like, okay, Camille and James, you just told me like I can't, do my cardio before my resistance training. So when do I do the cardio? Like, can I do it immediately after, or do I have to wait? So what are your thoughts on that?
Ideally, you would do them at 2 separate times.
Yeah.
Put a window in between. If you can't, then you do your cardio after your weights. But ideally, for the best results, the best gains, you do them 2 separate windows.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of studies, and around that 4 to 6 hour mark is usually what they say. If you are able to separate out the cardio from the resistance training, and that really helps to reduce that interference effect with one another. You're able to replenish all those nutrients. The muscles are able to work on recovery, and they're not as fatigued.
Sure.
So
makes sense.
Yeah.
Your body only has so much, like Camille said. If you spend it all on cardio, you're not gonna have anything left to put into the weights.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I can't always do 2 different, workout sessions in a day. So I will lift and then I'll do whatever cardio I need to. On the days where I know I can separate it out, then I'll usually do my training in the morning, and then I'll do cardio at lunchtime, early afternoon. So kind of a little bit of a gap in there, which is good for me.
I agree. If you have a option and you can split them up, I'd like to do cardio in the morning. Empty stomach, fasted. It's just me. It helps me wake up, et cetera, et cetera. I can lift at any time. But if you want me to do cardio later in the day, I'm like,
See, I'm the exact opposite though, you guys, because if I don't hit that lifting session in the morning when I'm fresh, nothing's like hurting, not busy, like I mentally just, it's not the same when I go in there at lunchtime and I'm trying to hit those weights. So I could do cardio anytime, but lifting first thing before any distractions, that's for me. Yep, absolutely. All right. What about the type of cardio? Do you think the type of cardio selected makes a difference when the goal is hypertrophy?
Yeah, 100%. A lot of cardio beat you up. Number one, first and foremost, is running.
Yeah.
Running will beat you up. There's impact. There's a negative portion of the rep you're doing to your body, your lower body. You're working your muscles as well as beating yourself up with the impact, lifting and jumping on that foot every single time, every single step. You have to account for that and account for the recovery of that.
Yeah.
It will beat you up badly.
I think a lot of people don't think about cardio and think about the eccentric part of the cardio. You are working those muscles and you are damaging those muscle fibers the way you would for any other type of activity. And I think you just don't think about it the same way. You're like, oh yeah, I did cardio. Not the same as doing legs, which it's not, but at the same time, there is a certain amount of damage that's occurring.
You're still creating damage.
Absolutely. And I think certain cardio modalities are worse than others. Definitely the running, whether it's outdoor, indoor, even sprinting, that would be just not a great one. Even stair climber, I think's pretty intense. As long as you're, got it cranked up now. I don't know if you're doing really slow or something, maybe not. But
and the stair climber, you got the impact as well. You're picking your foot up and you're putting it down every step. And you better believe if you're doing it right, you're working your muscles.
Oh yeah, you're burning calories for sure. That heart rate is definitely pumping, and that's why I think a lot of people love it. Same with like high intensity interval training. That would probably be a big no-no if gaining strength and muscle is, your goal, because it is so intense. It is so fatiguing. So yeah, I mean, even down at like a metabolic level, just think about everything that's happening in your body while you're doing that activity. It's just not going to be good for you, in comparison to the strength training.
Yeah, agreed.
So what kind of cardio should you be doing then if strength and hypertrophy is your goal?
No impact. I'm going to say moderate cardio.
Yeah.
Elliptical, walking.
Cycling,
bike, bicycle. There's no impact on any of those. Well, walking, but it's minimal. There's no impact on the elliptical. You don't lift your feet up. You don't put them back down. There's no impact on the bike. You don't pick your feet up. You don't put them down. Yeah, and I like the bike, actually. I like it a lot.
It's funny, being a competitor, I've always called that like lazy man cardio. I don't know why I call it that, but just compared to someone going like full throttle 100%, I'm like, yeah, I do lazy man cardio, elliptical, whatever. I mean, it's still pretty intense, but it's definitely not high intensity interval training or anything like that. And I've seen that work really well. I actually had a client, I've had a few clients actually throughout the years who did a lot of aerobics classes and things for their cardio, and we counted that as cardio. And you could definitely tell that they, one, either didn't gain more muscle size, or even worse, they might have atrophied some of that muscle a little bit and literally burned it off because of how intense that activity was. So that was a hard lesson learned there.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes a big difference.
Over the years, I've had I'm not going to say many, a few bodybuilders go to try out CrossFit.
Yeah.
Every single one of them comes back after a couple months saying, man, I lost my gains. There's too much cardio in CrossFit. Yeah,
I can see that.
Every one of them, maybe 4 months, maybe they were right back to the regular gym. Forget CrossFit. There's way too much cardio. It's draining my gains.
I mean, it's fun. And I think that's what people love about it. It's that competition, the camaraderie. But again, it's like, what's the goal? So CrossFit, yeah.
Oh, if you're competitive, that's
absolutely. So if you're doing too much, doing too much cardio too, I think is another thing that really interferes with making gains. So like James already mentioned, even as much as 20 to 30 minutes, 3 days a week is probably too much if trying to gain muscle is your goal.
Yeah.
And, that sounds kind of counterproductive because everyone's like more cardio, better for health and that. But again, those are slightly different goals.
Right. If hypertrophy is your goal, that should be it.
Right.
And everything else should be secondary. If weight loss is your goal or something else, then okay, get your cardio on.
Yeah.
But if you want hypertrophy and muscles, you keep your cardio to a minimum. We looked up several sources say after 75 minutes of cardio, you start eating your muscles. So I don't know why anybody would do 75 plus minutes cardio unless they're training for a marathon. But you should absolutely not do more than 75 minutes of cardio in one shot.
Yeah.
You will tap into your muscles. Everybody asks this during prep. How much cardio can I do before I start burning muscles?
Right.
There's your answer.
Yeah.
74 minutes. You can do 74 minutes before it starts tapping into your muscles.
Yeah, usually if I have clients that for whatever reason have to do more than an hour of cardio, I highly recommend that they split it into multiple sessions with that good 4 to 6 hour window in between so they can put the nutrients back in the body and recover. Absolutely.
Agreed. And if you do an hour cardio, it's fatiguing.
Yeah.
You're tired after that. You just did an hour and you should be at your target heart rate, which means you're going pretty hard.
Right. Absolutely. So yeah, definitely don't do too much cardio. Now, we are absolutely not saying like, hey, let's go to the extreme and like pull out all cardio and just do all lifting. I mean, that sounds great. I would probably love that. But there's still a cardiovascular aspect of lifting weights. So we want to stay in good cardio shape as well. But again, just keep it to a minimum and focus on the resistance training.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
No,
I went many, many, many years without doing any cardio except pre-contest.
Yeah.
So my whole off season, I didn't do 1 second of cardio. And if you're young and you're lean, unless you want cardio shape and the health benefits, then why are you doing cardio?
Yeah.
Stick to your weights. Try to put on size. The cardio is going to take away from that.
Yeah, we can agree to disagree. But definitely lifting weights has a cardio aspect anyway. I mean, try to get through a leg day. You're definitely huffing and puffing.
100%. Arthur Jones, Mike Mentzer's mentor, says cardio is worthless. Get your cardio lifting weights. That's Arthur Jones says, which you can do, but don't try to do the same workouts, get hypertrophy and cardio with the same workout by lifting weights. It ain't going to happen.
Conflicting goals.
Right.
All right, y'all. So those were our main ones. So just as a recap, really think about what that goal is. Number one, always think of the goal.
Prioritize your goal.
Absolutely.
And if muscle hypertrophy, muscle gain, strength gain is your goal, keep your cardio to a minimum.
Yeah.
I didn't say don't do cardio. I said keep it to a minimum.
Absolutely. Number 2, make sure you're not doing cardio at the wrong time.
Yeah.
So definitely think about, what is the goal and which one you should do first versus second, or not at all.
Yep.
And then number 3, make sure if you still are doing the cardio, you're separating it out, at, a couple hours in between, or at least after the resistance training is important.
Right. If you can, separate them. If you can't, do them after your weights.
Yeah. And then number 4, select the right type of cardio. Let's not do that high impact, heavy eccentric portion to the cardio that's damaging to the muscles.
Yeah. We didn't say swimming now. Swimming is in there. No impact.
That's perfect.
Elevates the heart rate, gets you going. Swimming.
Yeah. And then last thing, don't do too much cardio.
And as much cardio as you're going to do, just remember it takes away from your muscle gains, your strength gains.
Awesome.
Just keep that in mind while you're doing your cardio. We all do cardio to lean out. We all do cardio pre-contest to lean out, but it has to be secondary to muscle size.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this live session. We're here for you guys. So if there's topics that you want to know more about, definitely drop us a line and we will cover that either in our regular videos or here.
100%.
All right. Till next time. Bye, everyone.